All right, joining us now on this milestone episode. It's only fitting since she has been the longest tenured guest on this history of the in the circle on D1 softball. She has been tied for the most appearances in the history of the show. Uh, Man, we go back to when I used to have a radio show locally in Orlando. I was just telling her off the air. I think in 2013-ish, she came on. And since then, for some reason, she keeps saying yes to talking to me every year. Of course, she's entering her 15th season. She's got her own milestone season coming up at LSU. 581 wins at LSU, 710 wins total in her career. She was named to the D1 softball all-quarter century top head coaches list. I speak of our good friend Beth Torina joining us for our traditional get together here on In the Circle on 1000. And you have surprised me here with the family. For those watching the video here, thank you. This is very, very thoughtful of you here.
Well, I have original piece of art back here for you, made by my favorite artist, Taryn Torina. She is my favorite artist by far. So it's an original. I'll make sure you get it so you can have it. And we'll have her
Woo!
sign it. But I'm excited to be the most frequent appearer. You know, if you show up a lot, sometimes good things happen to you, right? Don't they say that like a part of life is just showing up? So you're accidentally going to win some games if you show up all the time. So I'm good to be the leader in appearances. It's good.
That's correct. You have come on this show and all the different variations of this show from audio, all the different audio platforms we've been to. I think you've been on our live show when we've done selection shows. Like you've been through every version of this. So you were like the perfect guest. When me and Vic were discussing who should we have on, you were at the top of the list. And you, like I said, we've gone, man. Can you believe it? Like this is your 15th season. We've had you on, since your early days of the LSU years. This is your 15th season at LSU. When I say that, what comes to your mind?
Well, I must have gotten this job when I was like 10 years old, right? Because I'm so young.
I mean, I'm not going to argue. I'm not going to question the age limit there.
What's crazy is we'll be at camp and people will be like introducing themselves, and I'm like, yeah, I've had this job since before you guys were born. I mean, it's pretty crazy, like people be like, I'm in my fifth year and this. I'm like, well, before you guys were born, I was wearing these colors. And I've given a lot of, and so has my family. Man, we've given so much of our life to this place and this program, and we're lucky to have had the opportunity to be at the helm of LSU. What a cool thing it has been for our family and just my life to be a part of LSU. It's been awesome.
How are you a different coach today than you were when you took over the program?
Oh, it's hard to even think of how I'm the same. There's so many reasons why I'm different. I think just impossible to think of what is the same. I mean, I think we try to hold on to some of the traditions of LSU, wearing the gold on Sundays and just some of the cool things about LSU, just try to hold on to those things. But I think we're just doing business different all the time. And that's the goal, right? Like, you don't want to be old school. You don't want to be lumped into that. Like, you want to be on the cutting edge and the forefront. So, hopefully we're trying to do business differently all the time every year with like the newest technology and the newest things to give our players the most opportunities.
I would say it's been working for you so far through. Here's some stats that I don't think people realize until they take a moment here. Through your first 14 seasons, you've had 8 seasons of 40 wins or more. 2 other seasons, you had 50 wins or more. You've been top eight-ish since you've arrived at LSU as far as winningest programs in the sport. 4 college World Series appearances, which by the way, I have one of them right here. I'm wearing one of them just for you. This is one of your World Series trips that you made this season. I think it was 20. I have to look at the year of the shirt, but let's just say it's the early one of the first ones actually. But you're the all-time winner in LSU history, softball history. You're one of 5 LSU head coaches, regardless of the sport, to have over 500 wins. You're joining the likes of Skip Bergman, who's a pretty big name over there at LSU, baseball head coach, of course, Yvette Gerard, who you followed. And I know you don't like to hear this stuff. If you want to like close your ears here, you're 19 wins away from the milestone 600 at LSU. That would put you one of 4 LSU head coaches to reach those milestones. That's a pretty good track record there.
I mean, if you mention my name with Skip Bertman and Yvette Gerard, I've done something, I had lunch with Skip maybe 2 weeks ago and just the things that he was doing, like I guess he was like doing things before they were cool. he had it all figured out like way before it was cool on how to evaluate players and how to win games and so many things that now we're having, math formulas to do. The guy's a genius. He was doing it before any of us had people telling us how to do it. So pretty cool just to hear him talk and be around him. But like I said, it's been an incredible ride at LSU, and what an awesome opportunity it is for my family. It's changed our lives for sure. So my girls are brainwashed. They only own purple and gold clothes. They think there's only one school. They watch old games on YouTube nonstop. They know all the players, even the ones from when they were babies. They can tell you about them, and they still can't quite figure out Carly Hoover's pitching motion. The one year they were trying to do that one just last night, actually. But it's been incredible.
20, well, I figured it out. It's 2015 is the World Series shirt I have, the 2015 version that you got to go there. Skip Bergman, do you remember the first time you met Skip Bergman? I only bring that up because obviously he was a legendary, for those that may not be aware, they're listening, he was the legendary, arguably the GOAT of LSU, of college baseball, and certainly of LSU baseball, built the dynasty program that they've had there at LSU baseball. But he was also in the administrative side for a long time there. Do you remember the first time you met him?
He's just been such a huge supporter the whole time I've been here. I don't know the exact moment, but I mean, every time anything cool happens in this program, he's one of the first people to call me, still to this day. And he's like, "Don't worry if you didn't win the World Series your first time. It took me 5 tries." And I'm like, "Okay, perfect. Fifth time's a charm." One of my favorite stories, his wife passed away this past year. She was just like, I mean, a treasure to this university. But we used to sit with them at the football games when Les Miles was here. I had all the babies, so he let us sit in his booth, and Skip and Sandy would sit in there. Sandy had this beautiful bracelet, okay, and it had pendants on it, like the top of rings. And I said to her one day, I'm like, "Oh, is that all of your World Series rings?" And she said, "No, baby, these are just the national championships." So that's one of my favorite stories. Is she had a whole bracelet full of national championships, and that's when you knew you better start picking his brain every second, right? Because he accomplished so much. But that relationship has been really, really special to me.
Yeah, I mean, you get to LSU, you meet, of course, you got Skip Bergman. You're following Yvette Jordan, who you have known prior to your arrival there. Both of you were on the D1 softball quarter century list that was released in the summer full time, which got to be it's fitting that both of you were on that list together. What you both have helped built in LSU softball.
Well, Yvette is just the goat. I mean, she is softball in the state of Louisiana. She's it. She built it from the ground up, literally with her two bare hands and her mom's sewing machine, sewing uniforms, and she built this place. Like I'm sitting at her desk every day. It's a pretty amazing look out the window and see this beautiful stadium that she fought for, and just the way she paved the way for us, and not just at LSU, but this entire state. I mean, she truly moved the needle for softball in the state of Louisiana in a way that no one else could.
Yeah, she's in any Louisiana Hall of Fame that exists. She's in it.
Rightfully so. She should
Right.
be. She should be.
Yes. Well, you're going to be there at some point down the road as well. You'll be, she could tell you about all the Hall of Fame ceremonies she's been to and everything like that. But I know you've got a lot of softball still in you. What's it been like this past fall with this group, which is unique? I'm fascinated by this roster because you've got 5 new pitchers. I think as long as I followed you, I don't remember, and you could correct me if I'm wrong, if you've had that many new pitchers on a staff, but you return a great core on offense there. So how would you describe this group as you've gotten to know them this fall?
There is a lot of new. There is a ton of new. And it's a smaller roster, which has been interesting. I think that's probably been the biggest change for us is the smaller roster and just more efficiency at practice and more opportunities for people. So that's been really interesting. The smallest roster I've had in quite a while. And then the transfers have been incredible. The transfers that we brought into the offensive side or, the position player side have been incredible. Kylie Edwards and Char Lorenz, Allie Hutchins, those guys have really just continued to like push us forward, raise the bar, make a difference right away. And then 5 new pitchers has been interesting. I've been trying to learn them. They've been trying to learn me, which has been interesting. So they bring so much to the table. I mean, so many cool things. I've enjoyed all my moments with them. And I think it's going to be a little different look than what we've had in the past. I think we're going to probably, use people in combination a little more than I've been comfortable with in the past. That's not my strength. But I think people have really nice pairs. They match up really well together. So I feel like that's something that might happen. I don't know. You'll see me in game one. Everybody, weekend one, we got 5 complete games probably. But on paper, it seems nice that people would pitch in combination.
That's part of the sport, right? It's kind of the way it is nowadays. Is the sport has changed in that regard? How is it? What's it? How do you get to learn 5 new pitchers? Because there's a lot of different variety. You have, I believe, 3 freshman pitchers, 2 transfers. So you've got variety there. 3 freshmen that are stepping up a level, and then 2 transfers who have pitched elsewhere that have maybe are accustomed to a certain style that they've been able to pitch. And then you got the two, couple of returners that obviously are used to your system. So how do you blend all that in that learning process?
Yeah, it's an interesting staff. There's some crazy things about it because the oldest pitcher is Tatum Clopton, but right, because she's in like her fifth or 100th year. I don't know. She's had all the red shirts and the medical stuff, so she's been around a lot. But the most experienced pitcher is CC Solera, who's thrown the most college innings in her career and been in some really huge moments. And then, of course, we'll still lean on Jaden Heavner, who has the most LSU innings thrown. So it's an interesting staff with a lot of different experiences and from different places. And, I think whatever kind of accent you need, come on into the bullpen, you'll get it because they're from all over the country, all different places. So it's a fun group and a really enjoyable group. And then I think, too, the 3 freshmen are going to make some noise as well. Like, I think they're going to help us in some different ways. So it's been a fun group.
You're regarded as one of the best pitching developers. I mean, the resume backs it up with all the pitchers that have had success under your watch. There, have your style of developing pitchers and teaching pitchers adapted at all, or changed? Not adapt is a bad word. Change or tweak, adjusted based on the landscape that the sport is today.
Yeah, I think everything about that too. I think, and it's cool having such a really genius hitting mind and Bryce Neal down the hall for me that challenges me to think differently about the pitching. I have Zach Germain too, who's our data guy, who's also knows a ton about pitching, and they challenge me to think differently, which has been, again, uncomfortable but awesome all at the same time. So I think with this pitching staff, we've done some different things than we've ever done before. We've added some cool pieces. I think we've done some things that are going to play well when we're seeing other hitters. I think they have played well against our own team. So I'm hopeful to see what we're going to get out of them. I'm really, really proud of some of the fall seasons they put together. Peyton Monticelli had an incredible fall. I don't think I've mentioned her yet. She's added some pieces and done some cool things. We've added some things even to the transfers with some experience that I think are going to show up and be really, really special.
What goes into your evaluation of a pitcher? Because it used to be, hey, you recruit them, you get to know, follow them, from high school. I mean, I think back to an Angel Shamblin who you recruited down in Florida, who ended up coming to Houston when you were an assistant there, and you were able to develop her, even though she faced some adversity. She had the injuries, that you kind of stuck with her. You also, Barrett, who was probably the most underrated player at FIU when you were the head coach there, won a pitcher of the year. I mean, Shamblin's a Hall of Famer. You developed them on to LSU. You've developed so many pitchers there. Take me through your process on your evaluation, because not only are you doing that from a recruiting standpoint, as we'll talk with Jayden Heavner, who's one of the best recruits in the country, to the portal where you've got, work with pitchers there that you've seen them work, like a Peyton Monticelli, like you've mentioned with Solari. Take me through that evaluation process from your own eyes.
And I think when you're naming all of these awesome pitchers I've had the privilege to be around, you're naming a bunch of relentless competitors. I mean, incredible competitors, right? They all had different pitches. They would all play well on the track, man. I'm sure Carly Hoover's rise ball had a ton of, Rachel Fico had a ridiculous amount of, induced vertical on her rise ball. I'm sure all of these guys, Angel Shamblin's curveball must have been off the chart, right? What she was able to do with the softball. But you're naming a bunch of just absolute competitors. Like, you don't want to meet them in a back alley somewhere. Like, these women would catch a softball with their teeth to win a game. And I think that's the piece that, we've really wanted to add this year. The piece that, like, we wanted to have out in the circle is like, throw us a fist pump, man. Get fired up. Like give your defense something to cheer about. Like, but I think the people that just refuse to get beat, that are willing to make big pitches in big situations, and when you're recruiting and looking for pitchers, you got to watch them play a lot to see these moments, right? You got to see them win games and be in big spots, and sometimes you got to watch them load the bases and figure out a way out of it. But I think it's just figuring out like who's going to compete when the lights are on the very last day of the year, who's going to execute the big pitch that we need, to win the game.
I remember watching covered you late last year, the SEC there, in particular at Arkansas. I felt like Jayden Heavner had taken to a different level and was really pitching like an ace at that point, and won some big games for you there down the stretch. Talk about her growth and what you're expecting from her this year now, where people are, the expectations are always high with her. It's been since she's walked in there. She handled herself very well last year, now enters her second year.
Yeah, she's a special player. I mean, she accidentally does stuff with a softball that just people miss. It's pretty cool. And she is a great competitor. She wants the ball all the time. She wants to be in the circle. She wants those big moments. I think she's made a lot of adjustments this fall that are going to help her. And I agree with you wholeheartedly. At the end of the year last year, she was acting as our ace. She was doing some really big things. She had some huge games, some huge wins, not just Arkansas, but at Texas, some other moments where she was just great. And I think that's going to roll right into this season. And she's made some cool adjustments. Like she worked hard on some things that needed some work, and she's improved. And I'm excited about how she's going to lead this pitching staff.
Who does she remind you of all the pitchers you've had in your career? Is there anybody that is she one of one?
Yep, 101. I mean, well, for one thing, she's the first left-hander in the entire history of LSU softball. So there was one in 1997 that threw about 30 innings. There's never been a left-hander since
Wow.
in LSU, which is crazy to think about. Now we have two with Callie Deal, but she's the first left-hander. So I think, and not the first left-hander I've ever coached, right? You'll remember an incredible left-hander there back at FIU, Ashley McLean. So,
Yes.
but I've had some others, had some at Houston too, but she is the first one here. So I think she kind of is in just a league of her own, stands, her own, does it her own way. And that's been really fun to work with too.
That's wow. That's really, I did not realize that stat of the lefty. Wow.
I knew a stat that you didn't know.
No,
You're kidding.
you got me on that one.
You're
You got
kidding
on the lefty. I knew you hadn't had a lefty in a while, but I didn't know with that even further back than like, I would have thought Coach Gerard would have had one or two at some point.
Yep. I don't think it was by design, just how it worked out.
Yeah, I mean it's just kind of it's a random stat. Yeah, you're bringing me back memories too of Barrett and McLean. Jeez, I'm here if you guys. You got three freshmen. I'm always curious. How do you know when a freshman is ready to contribute right away, and when because everybody's on their own clock. You can't force it on them. So how do you know? Take me through the evaluation with the freshmen. It's not necessarily these three specific, but just in general, when you have the freshman pitchers like you do this year, and that process.
Well, I think if you want people to be good pitchers, you have to give them the ball. So I think you just have to find out. I think that's a huge part of developing a pitching staff. If you want a staff, then you have to let them pitch. So, we have to give the freshmen the ball early on in the season and see what they're made of, see what they can do. I mean, they've done some cool things. If we're talking about the track man, we've got Ashley Mowry with velocities up around 70. We've got, some cool things. Callie Deal spins the heck out of it. So those are all great numbers. But if you want a great pitching staff, you got to give them the ball. So I expect them to have the ball some here early on in the season. And then what they do with it is up to them.
Peyton Monticelli, you mentioned her. I'm fascinated to see her because she's over the last couple of years she's been mostly a reliever, but she's also started in her career. Is that something that you think about as do you have a role in mind, or is that one of those things that it just plays out as the season goes?
I'm fascinated to see her too. I'm not going to lie. It's been a really strong fall. So I'm fascinated to see what she's going to do. I just think like the sky's the limit for her. I think she's in a great space just in her own head. I hope she can hang on to the spot she's in because it's cool. And she can start a game. She can relieve a game. She loves finishing a game. Let me tell you. We did something. We were playing a fall game and it was like 10 innings. And I was starting somebody for the first four. And then I'm like, all right, pick out of a hat one inning each for the other six of you. Peyton was always trying to trade to get the last inning because she wanted to close it out. She loves that mentality. So She is great at that. And I think, that's something she developed at her last stop that, they used her in that fashion and they grew her in that way. And that's cool. I think that'll be to our benefit. But she can start a game too. She can do a lot of things. So I'm excited to see what this season has in store for her too.
You've got pitchers that have pitched in postseason in big games. Monticelli's pitched in big games. Solora pitched in big games in her previous stop there at San Diego State. Heaver got that experience last year in the regionals. Is that how valuable is that? So, and I think because yes, you have a lot of new faces, but they have experience as far as pitching in big games.
Yeah, Tatum Clopton too. So she was
Yes.
in and did some things. So we do. As inexperienced and young as the staff is, I think we have people that want the ball and want the big moments. And like I talked about, they are those competitors. They want to be out there, and Tatum Clopton would do anything to win a softball game, anything. So I think our team will love playing behind her. Peyton Monticelli is so fun out there. Her energy is awesome, just awesome. Our team loves being behind her too. So I think we have some people that will be pretty special. And like I said, if we can use them correctly, and that'll be up to the coach. Hopefully she's smart enough to use them in the right way. I think they can do some cool things.
Clopton, she's been a senior year. Oh,
No,
no, not a senior.
he still has another one.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's unbelievable. That's wild.
It is.
What does she bring to the table this year?
I think she is just a student of the game. Like she feels like the coach's kid, the one that just knows all the right answers, knows the thing to say. Is a really strong leader in the bullpen. Does a lot of things, just to push us forward, keep us together as a group. She's the one with all the right answers. Really, really intelligent about the game of softball.
It's got a lot of experience. I just assume things. That's a big mistake on my part.
She has 2 redshirt years from
That's
her.
amazing. She's been through a lot, though. She's been through a lot. And I would imagine there's an appreciation there every time she steps out of practice. She's in the circle, baby. Do you sense that with everything she's gone through? I get the sense of that, the way you're talking about her, and I would imagine from teammates that rubs off on them. It has to.
Her first year here, almost for a full year, we threw 55 miles an hour, like from her
Wow.
shoulder being just in bad shape. Like she had to have another surgery to fix what had happened to her. Like we tried to get it right. Just had some bad luck there. And now she's can touch numbers at 68. So it's really incredible to see what she's been through, and how she has just come back from it. So it is a really, really cool story.
Now it's I think it's an underrated under the radar story, so I think people will follow very closely. And then Solora, as you mentioned, 19-game winner last year. It's not bad when you can add a 19-game winner to your staff, who's by the way pitched in big games herself, like I mentioned in postseason.
Yeah, and we think back all the time to her throwing 4 days in a row for them to win the championship out there and put her team in the postseason. So I know she's done some really special things, and excited about her season too. Like I said, she's got the most innings thrown of any pitcher on the staff, so I know she'll be a huge factor. And she is the epitome of a competitor herself too.
She's got a little old school in her, right? Like if you tell her she has to go 3-4 days, like you said, she'll do it, whatever it takes.
Yep.
It's
Seems
pretty
like
good.
it.
It's good. I like those. I still think we need those. It's good to have some of those around still. I love that. Offensively, you returned some good per talent, but you've added some talent too in the portal. And I know, reading the D1 softball fall report when you talked to our very own Rhiann Podkey, you wanted to add some power, more power, which you've done that with some of the additions you have. Just talk about right now the outlook overall with the offense.
Well, I think there is a lot more power. It's a deeper lineup for sure. And, we lost Mackenzie Rudity, we lost Danica Coffey, but we returned the other 7 in this lineup, which is an awesome thing to think about. A team that was really successful, and then you return that. Plus, you add these really cool pieces and Kylie Edwards, Char Lorenz, Allie Hutchins. And I think you have a really deep, especially middle of the lineup, people that can produce a ton of power, people that run well on top of it, just great athletes. Allie Hutchins has an incredible knack for just finding her way on base, incredible on base percentage. And then I think too, we always think about this, but 2 people with 2 years of SEC experience, you just can't make that up. Like you can't fill that in. Like there's no substitute for that. So with Kylie and Allie just playing 2 years, starting virtually every game of their career, I think there's a huge value in that too.
That is very valued, and of course, helps when you get returners like Edwards. Wow, you've just bummed me out about Coffee now. I was feeling good, and now I just realized, man, I'm not going to see Coffee play this upcoming season. Of course, she's doing very well for herself.
Well, turn on the AU. You
I
know,
know, that's what I'm saying. She's doing very well for herself. I mean, I'm just saying, it's still kind of a weird adjustment because I'm accustomed to seeing her at third base over there at Tiger Park.
yeah, she's having a great time though playing still. She's coaching at Baton Rouge Community College too, and she comes to me all the time. She hits over here still. She comes over here all the time, like, Coach, I didn't know. I didn't know. I'm just trying to get these people some lunch. I didn't know.
He didn't know. It's always figured it out once they get into it. It's like, oh, okay, that's what it meant
Yeah.
there. But it does bring up a couple interesting questions, though. A, the leadoff spot, because she was a natural at the top of your order, plus defensively at third base. What's the outlook there? You don't replace anybody. It's an opportunity for somebody else that to step into that role. But kind of what's the outlook in that?
We have a few options here. I can't say that any of those things are decided yet. Jayla Lassiter led off at Ole Miss for some time, so I know she's really comfortable there. It suits her personality and who she is really well too. So I'd say she's a prime candidate. Sierra Daniels, another candidate for it offensively, and then third base we have Allie Hutchins, Avery Hodge, or Kylie can play over there as well. Those guys, and then Ciela Pickett. Yeah, funny, I would only tell you this, which means I'm telling everyone, but there was a moment this fall where I like sent a group text during a scrimmage and I was like, a new third baseman has entered the chat. I mean, she just has like worked really hard like to make herself be relevant and be a part of it. She's put herself on the radar. She's going to get to do some cool things this year. Like I said, we have a ton of experience over there with the Kylie Avery and then Allie Hutchins, of course. But Ciela Pickett, just as a freshman, I think, is going to get to do some things and get some time somewhere, somehow. She's done an awesome job this fall, working hard.
Is this one of your more versatile defenses potentially, especially in the infield? Because you got people that can play multiple positions here with experience.
It's a good defense. It really is. I mean, we have two big time shortstops that, will hopefully find their way on the field somewhere at the same time. So, I mean, that's pretty cool in itself when you get to say, like, man, we're playing shortstops everywhere. So I think that's pretty cool that we have the two of them that'll get to do some cool things together.
How do you feel about your outfield defensively? 'Cause that's like the benchmark at LSU is outfield defense.
Yeah, it is. And I think there's still some question marks out there. There's a ton of competition on this team, which is fun. And I think a lot of people are going to get some time. So it's nice that, you're not trying to get some people one at bat here and there. Like when you have a smaller roster, it feels like people can get some genuine time and, battle it out a little bit. So Charlotte Lorenz is out there, Jayla Lassiter, Jaden Leno is coming off an injury. So we didn't see much of her this fall. And then in right field, Riley Johnson, who's another freshman that's had a big fall, Alex Franklin and Grady Appling. So Alex had a really strong fall too. So a lot of competition. I wish I could answer your question now, but I can't. I don't have an answer on the first day either. It's not going to be an easy decision.
Well, you got time. You got time. But that's good to have options. That's a good problem to have. Is you got a lot of options versus the other options there. Offensively, you bring back Edwards, who I mean, set the to me one of the best seasons in any LSU Tigers ever had as a freshman. I think I read where she, one of the Louisiana local state awards, she won Player of the Year and Freshman of the Year, the first softball player to ever do that. In that state. That's something that's a pretty impressive. There's a lot of talented players that play in Louisiana every year with all the great programs in the state. Talk about her as she enters her sophomore year.
But I still sometimes ask Bryce, like when I'm throwing to her, I'm like, do other people have someone like this or no? Like, does it come off their bat like this other places or is it just her? Like, she's just different. She's just different the way she hits and the way she swings. And on top of being just Tori, the awesome hitter and player, she's been Tori, the leader for us this fall. She has really just stepped up her game and led this team. And, I would put her at the top of the leadership group for this team as well, which has been fun to see. And she walks around here like a professional hitter. She just carries herself in a different way. She knows what to get out of practice. Like she knows what she needs. She's not out here trying to hit the ball, to the moon every day. She's like trying to accomplish tasks that she wants to accomplish. It does go to the moon, even when she's trying to do that. Actually, the one day someone was like, I was driving by outside your field and there were balls over by the soccer complex. I was like, what? Like, I mean, first of all, it's a hike to get it out of Tiger Park. Then to get it all the way out of Tiger Park, I've never seen it before. There were balls outside of Tiger Park from Tori this fall. So she's in good shape.
I would say so. That's pretty good. I mean, arguably the best hitter you've ever coached, at least resume wise, is Savannah Jaquish, the only four-time All-American in LSU softball history. Was named actually on the D1 softball quarter century list for among the 25 best hitters this century. She's doing great things internationally, playing internationally, the U.S. national team and on AU as well. I mean, is that a comp there? Is that like you probably, that's pretty high. Jaquish is that probably the bar set. It sounds to me like Edwards is there. I mean, I'm looking at 73 RBIs, 18 home runs last year. As a freshman, it was nuts. I remember I keep watching her. I'm like, she's not a freshman. And then I look at oh, yeah, no, she is.
Yeah, she's special. I mean, Savannah Jaquish was special too. Like the time with her and Bianca was an incredible time in this program. Savannah is a very different hitter than Tori. Tori is just elite power. Savannah had a knack for just finding a way on base. She had incredible vision. Rarely ever swung out of the zone, and not that Tori does either, but Tori's going to give you the big swing, the big thing, a lot. And Tori's so cool in that she runs so well. I mean, she turns singles into doubles. She steals bases. Like she's an elite athlete. So she's going to stand on her own 2 feet when it's all said and done and make her own set of history. And how cool to be mentioned in the same sentence with a Savannah Jaquish, who's the best of the best to come through this program. So pretty cool that we're thinking of somebody like a Tori Edwards in that way.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fascinated. I followed Jaquish her entire career, and I'm really intrigued. So I think she is somebody. I don't think you're going to disagree. I think she's got a shot to be on that U.S. national team in 2028 for the Olympics and represent because of her versatility and her bat. I think is, to me, like I said, probably still underrated, probably underappreciated to some extent based on the career she had. Like I said, only four-time All-American in LSU, so, which kind of blows. I mean, there's been a million great players at LSU, and she's the only to be of the only four-time. That is an incredible achievement there that she has done. What's it been like seeing her growth and development there as she's continued on in her pro career and internationally?
Oh yeah, we're huge fans of hers. And when I think back to her career, the coolest thing about her, like she's obviously incredibly special, but she had starts at catcher, starts at third, starts at first, starts in the
Yes.
outfield. She also had starts at shortstop. She started games at shortstop for us. I mean, she's just the most, I mean, just incredible athlete. It's like you can throw her out anywhere and she just looks good doing it. Like, how can you just bounce out of catcher and third and be like, yeah, you need a shortstop today? Sure. And she like goes out there and looks great doing it. It's pretty crazy, the type of just versatile player that she is. So it was always fun to see the cool things that she could do on a softball field.
She's not in the LSU Hall of Fame yet, is she?
Not yet. Not
All right,
yet.
all right. What do we got to do? What do I got to
I
do? Do I,
know. I agree. We got to get her there. We got to
okay,
get
just let me know if I got to send in on her behalf. I can send a letter or something. I don't know. I covered her. That's a neutral site there. I'm curious. Let's talk about Macy because I think she's such a pivotal player for you, not just with her bat, but with what she brings from the leadership standpoint and a catcher. What has it been like for her as she is also learning a lot of new pitchers?
Yeah, she is, she's our Louisiana girl right now too. So she's like the one that was in LSU clothes when she was a baby. So this place means so much to her. And she accomplished her All-American year she wanted to have. Of course, we hope she has another one, but she wants to play in the College World Series. I mean, she's hasn't pulled any punches on that. Like that's what she wants to do, and she wants it not for herself, but she wants it for LSU. And it's cool to have a player like that. In the age of the transfers, and these people probably didn't grow up thinking LSU was their dream. We don't have many like that anymore, but we have one, and she's a special one, a really special one. That is as important to us offensively as she is defensively. She can throw and catch and receive and lead and do all the things. So she's like our girl, right? She's our tiger. She's our one through and through that, truly bleeds purple and gold.
And a big part. like I said, it helping the leadership role there. Speaking of the rest of the offense, you've mentioned Lassiter, 330 last year, Daniel. Just talk about the overall offense and what you expect, and even if some of the new, you mentioned the transfers that are going to add to the offense, and Edwards and Hutchins and Lorenz from coming over from Louisville. Is this one of the deepest lineups that you've had there at LSU?
Yeah, for sure. And I think, Bryce never rests here, right? He's always working to find the next best thing with this offense. Sandra still involved with the slappers, and Taylor is working on their mentality, so I think we have a really awesome coaching staff. Zach is giving them all the cutting edge information, numbers, things to help them succeed. So we have a coaching staff that's just relentless, that never rests on this too, that's always trying to find the next best thing. I mean, I walked into the hitting facility yesterday and found a giant plywood structure. I don't even know what we're going to do with it. So, I mean, every time I go in there, Bryce has got some new contraption ready for him. So, I'm excited to see it. But this group of hitters is really special. They're bought in, they're smart, they're learning, they're taking notes, they're ready to go. And I think it's deep, it's versatile. They run well, they hit for power. So I hope to see a really special year out of them as well.
Yeah, I literally met all of them 2 years ago in Clearwater when I was trying to find you, but you were busy doing ESPN obligations. So I literally ended up talking to Bryce and the rest of the staff. Every while I was like, oh, she'll be coming back. And then next thing, you never did come, but spoiler. Nonetheless, I got to meet the rest of your staff. So that was the experience from Clearwater 2 years ago. From that standpoint, offensively there. Describe this freshman class overall.
Well, I think they bring a lot to us. There's, a lot of versatility with them too. Riley Johnson being left-handed hitter, and then the two righties, an outfielder, an infielder, a utility player, the three pitchers. So you'll definitely see them. And like I keep echoing it, but the small roster is going to lend to people having more playing time and more opportunities. So the freshmen are going to reap the benefits of that for sure.
The roster construction, even next year, you got another. It seems like every year you have top five signing classes from the freshman class recruiting there. So that's always been a big part of your DNA throughout your career. But now you've got the portal. How do you balance that, knowing what you're coming in from a recruiting signing class, but also what you want to address in the portal and blending both of those?
Yeah, we're excited about this 26 class. We're excited about the next few, but this 26 class that was number one when we committed all of them has some incredible talent in it. So I think when you do that, it makes you not feel like you have to go searching quite as much as you have in the past, but there's no substitute for experience. Like I said before, the two SEC players we were able to get out of the portal, you know exactly what you're getting with them. So I think it's hard to be a freshman in the SEC. Now, these people that we have coming are pretty elite, so I can see them making an immediate impact. But I think it's finding a balance of experience and talent. And I'm excited as much for this year's team as I am for the future with the, commitments and signees that we have coming this way.
Everybody I've ever spoken to, former players have gone into coaching and, et cetera. They talk about your culture that you built. What's the key to building a culture that's led to the consistency that you've had, averaging 41 wins since you've been there day one at LSU? What's the key, especially in this era where you do, like I said, you're not alone in this. Everybody's probably got a 50-50 roster returning versus new faces.
I do think you said the word, though, the buzzword. That's kind of been the buzzword around our team this fall, and that's been consistency. I think it's just knowing what people can get. It's honesty, it's the standards, it's Tigers for life, which is always our standards. But I think it's just consistency. Nobody really likes surprises. I did surprise you today with my sign.
You got me off guard, yes.
You did like it, but
I did.
But nobody really likes surprises, right? I always tell them, I'm like, nobody knows you're dressed wrong for the surprise party if you didn't know it was coming, So I think it's consistency. So it's consistently just upholding what it means to play here on a daily basis in everything we do. And I think that, bleeds off into recruiting. People see that our team they work, they love to be a part of it. They love the details. So I think it's just consistently showing up and doing the job.
And you're doing the job indeed on that. Schedule. Some things jumped out at me. You're going to open up against NC State. I didn't know you knew the NC State head coach. How were you able to get that one done? I wonder how.
She's still mad at me about the schedule here for some reason. I don't know, but you know what? She doesn't work here anymore, so I can do what I want with her, right? But
That's what you tell her.
I think she missed like the crawfish and the Cajun food. So I think she's got like 7 meals already lined up when she comes to town. So I hope her team likes spice and a little Cajun flair because I think they're going to get it when they're in town.
That's funny. Yeah. So I'm guessing she's not going to ask you for like, hey, where do I go eat? Of course, I speak of Lindsay Leftwich. Is that going to be? Have you thought of that? Like how? I don't know if the word weird, emotional, because you're probably going to see each other lineup card exchange, or maybe you're going to prevent that. Maybe one of you is just going to like, nope, nope, you send that. It's too emotional for me. What is that going to be like to see her again, but on the opposite dugout?
It's going to be cool. It's the opener too, so I think about
Yes,
it all the time. I think about it all the time, just by default, right? Because you think about the next team you're going to play. But it's going to be cool. Everybody here is so proud of her and all that she's accomplished. She was here for Thanksgiving. She was at our table, so I specifically tried not to mention a lot about LSU softball. I didn't want her to have any
smart.
scouting notes, you know. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But yeah, I think it will be really cool. Everybody in town just loves her and how she just conducted business while she was here. So it'll be fun to welcome her back to Tiger Park.
It is interesting though because you two know each other probably as well as anybody knows each other, right? Like you know her as well as anybody. She knows you. You both probably know your tendencies. Like, is that some? I mean, do you think about that? Is that going to be as you get into facing her, like to not show too many things, or do you just kind of play the games there? Because it is unique to play somebody that knows you and knows your tendencies, and you know her tendencies.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing is she doesn't really know our staff as well, and I don't know hers as well. So I know they have a big influence on what they do too. But yeah, I'm gonna try to get in her head the whole way, you know, try to use all those
I
things,
was gonna
right?
say that's the other part I was gonna ask you. Is you got any gamesmanship ready to
Oh
go?
yeah.
Like
Oh yeah, I'm gonna have all kind of things ready. No, I don't know. I gotta think about that
you
though.
got
Think
to
about
think about that because like I've spoken. I remember Cindy Ballmelo when she took over UCF. She played Washington and Heather Tarr. Well, they know each other for so long. So she tried to play some gamesmanship by getting, cracking some jokes on her to pregame to just throw her off, just
I
to
like
throw her
it.
off, So I'm just saying, I don't know. I'm not saying that's what you need to do. I'm just saying, you could throw her, try to throw her off in the pregame or something. I don't know.
I like it. I like it. I'm gonna call Cindy and get the scoop on that, you know.
Yes, you'll get to see her later. The only thing I'm interested in your home slate. I mentioned Lindsay Lithwick. She's not the only person with LSU ties coming to Tiger Park. Victoria Haywood, Nevada is going to be their opening week. Oh, what else is new? You've got another tough schedule, but Victoria Haywood has ties to your staff, to you. She'll be there with her Nevada team. Tyra Perry bringing her Illinois team, former LSU Tiger, great. Later in the year, you got Sharana McDonald coming back as leading with Michigan State. Trina Prater, who I just spoke to recently, who's excited to come back. I mean, she's been back before, but player of the year. I joked with her. It's like Coach Gerard's just going to reference her as Trina Peel all on the air all the time with Lynn Rollins. Was that, I don't know, is that a coincidence or was a subconscious effort? It's pretty cool to see so many of the LSU ties there to have come in here.
I don't think it's by design by us at all. I think LSU people love LSU. They can't get it out of their blood. So I think they like coming back, seeing family, bringing their teams to see how cool the spot that they got to compete was. So we love having them come back all the time. We're proud of these women. My gosh, we're so proud of them. So it's really cool to have them back in Tiger Park. And I hope they get a warm welcome before the game and after the game, maybe not during the game, but I think it'll be fun to have everybody here at Tiger Park. We always love it.
You've always, the alumni, the tradition has always meant a lot to you, hasn't it?
It is really important. And, now Sandra runs the alumni and just somebody that's truly vested in it here, right? That her heart is LSU, just playing here and being a part of it for so long. She's almost been here as long as me at this point. She's got a couple years off where she went to Kentucky, but her and Taylor and the alumni that are still a part of it, I think really are able to just grab people and pull them in. And it's special to make them just continue to understand the traditions that we uphold because of them, that they built this place. And, they're our foundation. We're standing on their shoulders for anything that we've accomplished. They're a part of it too.
Very much so. Very much so. Mentioned that some of the highlights of the home slate. You got Arizona coming in later in the year, which is going to be a marquee non-conference series. You're going to Clearwater, which you come every other year. That's a stacked tournament there where you got teams like Oklahoma State, Nebraska, and UCF coming to that tournament. Speaking of Cindy, you're both going to play each other at Valentine's. Just talk about the overall schedule. Another looks like top 5 schedule, which has kind of been a norm, part of your kind of DNA there is play toughest schedules in the country. Your thoughts overall on the schedule? It's pretty cool what you got going there.
Yeah, I think the players come here to play a tough schedule, so we give it to them, and I think it prepares us for the postseason. I think we've seen it all at that point. It's about creating files for our players and seeing all the different looks and things that can come at you. So hopefully, by playing that type of schedule, we've done that, and they feel challenged and they feel accomplished when it's over. So we try not to back down from anybody. Try to search out the best schedule we can, and I think we've got another one. We're excited about it.
Yeah, you're playing UCF on Valentine's Day. Does that mean I get to hang out with Nick?
I think Nick is actually going to be at a gym meet in
Wow.
Virginia Beach. So, but we'll FaceTime it. We'll FaceTime
On Valentine's, no less. Man,
it.
it's wild there. Speaking of the Torina kids, what are they up to athletically right now? I know the gym part. How are we looking here?
We still got the mud bugs going. We have 2 teams, 10U, 12U. So Taryn and Tatum pitched and caught on the middle school team this year, which was the highlight of my life. The day the coach ran them out there. They have an awesome coach, Adam Barrett, cool guy with a ton of energy. Love him being with our girls every day. But he ran Taryn out to catch and Tatum out to pitch. And I was like, everyone be quiet. Everyone be quiet. This is the moment I've waited for my whole life. So it's been cool.
Wow.
And Tenley plays on the 10U team and gym, swim. We do it all. I think they're on 9 sports teams this fall. So Nick, Torina, my mother, and my dad, they're taxi drivers all around Baton Rouge. So if you need us, we'll be out on the roads of Baton Rouge driving our kids.
I would imagine. So now that you got one of your kids is like pitching,
2 of them.
2 of them pitching.
Yeah.
How's Mom Torina dealing with that? Is the coach
They
Torina?
they have a great pitching coach.
I was going to say, okay, so you're not hiding it. You're like, we're gonna break down some stuff on the car ride back, aren't we? Is that the nutshell there?
Probably so. Probably more than I should. Tatum told me the other day, she's like, this is like lecture 802 from you. So I'm like, well, they were all valuable. They were all valuable. So.
Oh my goodness. Oh no, lecture man. Oh Mom, we're doing this again. Jeez.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Wow. What's it like when you're out there at the games there? People are like, oh wait, like who's there? Like, is that you get some of that?
A little bit. A lot of the kids from camp will be playing or things like that. So that is cool. That is cool.
Lectures, man, that's never a
Yeah,
good sign.
802 lectures so far in her 11-year-old life. Feels like should be more,
Apparently so. That's tough. I mean, tough critic there, just clashing there a little bit. That's funny. Want to ask you too, couple things here of note. We talked about some of the pro game. You coached in the pros at one point. You got 6 players, I believe, now playing at AU. What's it been like for you seeing the growth in the pro level?
Amazing, and necessary. These women deserve the opportunity. So it's awesome to see. Huge fans. We're watching it all the time. My girls are too.
That's pretty good. Top 32 seeds this year. The committee will have to now seed 32 teams. You and I have talked about this for a few years now. It's now reality. I've had various opinions from coaches. Some are excited about it. Some are kind of still taking a step back to see how it plays out. What's your reaction to the 32 seeds now?
I think it's great. I think it's awesome. I think we needed it. I think there's just some regions of the country that are incredibly strong in softball. I think it will just continue to create more parity. And I know we have a state that's just got so many strong teams and great coaches. I mean, just great coaches in the state of Louisiana. Incredible. So I think anytime we're creating parity and getting people out, and matching them up correctly, and I think that we're doing the right thing.
The other thing too, now you can challenge and win your challenge back.
Yay!
How big is that?
Awesome. I think umpires aren't perfect, right? Neither are we, and we never claim to be. So I think sometimes like there's a mistake and you're like, oh, I have to use a challenge for this. They're like, I'm sorry, I don't want you to either, but we can fix that now. We can fix that, at least that situation, So I think that's great.
I think that's very good. All right. I've interviewed you. I don't know. I don't think I've interviewed you 802 times, but it's probably getting closer to that. We've hit many different topics over the years, so I figured it's only fair that on this particular episode, you get to throw all the bullets at me here and ask whatever you want me to ask me. Since I've asked you all a million questions, now it's your turn to ask me some questions. So I'm just gonna lay out here, and you just drill me with whatever questions you've got in your mind. This is your opportunity to get paid revenge on me here.
Okay, I'm ready. This is the
Ready?
question. It's not the $1 million question. It's like the $900,000 question.
Fair.
You always ask me, what are your superstitions?
Ooh.
And I need you to join the crazy train a little bit here because you always put me on one. I
Yes,
have to let
correct.
people like ask if I need counseling, when this is over every time. So I need you to join the crazy train and tell us your superstitions.
First of all, yes, you've noticed I did not ask you about that this year, because I've become a defender of yours. I'm the one that brings it up to others, like, hey, I can relate to her a lot. I am as crazy when it comes to superstition as it gets, to the point where I'm in the broadcast booth. I got to sit on the left side, on the same chair that I've sat for now. This will be my 20th season calling games in UCF there. Same chair, same side of the press box. Like my partner, my friend Alex Powers, she'll occasionally try to pop in on that side. I'm like, whoa, you got to move. You got to move. Like it's a non-negotiable. Like, so that's right at the top of the list. I'm sure that of superstitious wackiness that I have. I am also not afraid to wear either the same polo if the things went well the night before, or the same pants the night before if things went well the day before. And I'm not just talking about what happens on the field. I'm talking about the broadcasting side of things. That's just as equally as important. I also take a similar route getting into the stadium consistently. Like that's my other superstition. Are you any of these you can relate to?
Oh, if we lose, the bus driver has to drive a different way to the field the next day.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Same way.
Everybody, they look at me like I'm crazy, but
Nope.
the bus driver that has us a lot, he already knows. He just starts going.
Okay, good. Well, you got to coach him up. Got to coach him up when it comes to that. That's fair. Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I don't like people are like, oh, why'd you bring the equipment over here, the elevator? I'm like, nope, gonna go this long route.
Yep.
Long route.
Yep. Well, you mentioned Alex, but I was just thinking, thousands of these podcast episodes, but
Yes.
you broadcast, I couldn't even imagine the number of games. And you always ask us about our coaching tree, but you shared the booth with a lot of really cool people too.
Yes.
So let's talk about your broadcast tree. And they're not all broadcasting, some are coaching, right? And kind of like the people that you're proud of that sat in the booth with you.
Wow, look at you bringing the media question here.
Look at me.
I love this. Well, I got to mention somebody you coached, Francesca Anea. You speaking earlier about your coaching days in the pro levels. You coached her. She was my analyst for the first 3 seasons here, and then obviously she's decided to get into coaching. I don't know what was going through her mind, but she's doing well actually coaching. But I had her and Alex. Think about that. I go from a 3-time All-American. I got a 2-time All-American in the press box. That's not too shabby. I've been very fortunate in that regard, but there's been others. Somebody you know well, Allison Kime is broadcasting over in Tampa, who you got to face with you and her and Shamblin. I think you know this. I think I've told you this. Their rivalry, their matchups got me hooked on the sport, on softball. Just watching those two play as two-way players and kind of similar philosophies that they had. It was a blast. And it's just kind of cool when Allison's doing broadcasting now. Fran's doing it. Alex is doing it. I started one time with Angela Tincture was my analyst. I don't know if you met, when this was like a little bit when she was trying to figure out what she wanted to do, and she lived in Florida before her and her husband moved back to Virginia. So I've actually been pretty fortunate. That's like name dropping analysts there.
That's cool. It's awesome. I knew you were going to answer it that way. That's why I teed you up for it because it's been a cool celebrity seated next to you for a long time, right?
Something like that. It's weird. Like I think I'm over. Somebody told me like 2 years ago they had me surprise me with like my 600th game I called.
How cool!
And now I'm getting close to 700. We don't need to relay that message yet. I just know it's gonna be my 20th. You started
when you were 10. You started when you were 10.
10 years old. Yeah. It's bright future. Just skip school. Just get right into it business wise. Yes.
Okay, this is a write-in question from another subscriber.
Okay, well, we like that.
Yes. Who is your favorite spouse in college softball? This is a write-in question. So,
Well, obviously that Torina family is pretty good. It's pretty good.
Okay. What is your favorite episode of the 1,000? Can you pick one? Can you narrow it down? What is your favorite?
Ooh. In all honesty, I do remember when you came on the live show when you got found out you're a top 8 seed, because I think we hadn't done that was the first time we've done that, like do a live reaction show on selection night. We've kind of grown there since then. In fact, every year since obviously now I do it with D1 softball, it's kind of as a collaborative effort. We've had coaches on every year on selection night, but you were the kind of the original. You were the
Wow.
original. That's pretty good. By the
Okay.
way, one of the other half of Torina is mad at me though, because we were trying to see if we go to WrestleMania New Orleans, but they moved WrestleMania, so now we still don't know when I'm going over there. So I just want to bring that up.
WrestleMania.
That's right.
Anyway, moving right along. So, okay, here's one. Can
Yes.
you think of your most off-script moment in an episode? Where did it just go south or go to a place that you were not expecting it to go?
Ooh.
Maybe it turned out cool. Maybe it didn't turn out cool. But where did something go off script and you heard a story that you did not expect to hear?
Wow. Okay, that's like your change up there. You just got me
I,
here.
I
I
brought
got
I brought the hard
you
questions
did
today.
you did. Yeah, my goodness. Wow. Oh, I'm gonna go with the broadcast first because the podcast is tricky because technically we could edit whatever if it goes south. But I was starting the broadcast because it was like about 2 years ago. Alex Powers and our producers decided to do a segment which is Pooch Picks, where basically she's a big dog lover of pets. I'm not the biggest fan. She brings this up on the air, and I'm like, where's this coming from? And it turns out it was her and the producer. And of course, nobody tells me. Why would they tell me? And I'm like, what's going on? And so we spent like a half inning, like we're trying to like, where did this come from? And oh, by the way, there's a game going on here. Turns out though, it turns into a very popular thing. Everybody comes. Fast forward to where they're playing Oklahoma, and a dog comes into the booth. They bring her in. They bring the dog into the press box, and I'm right in between a dog as we're doing a live pooch pick segment. And let's just say that I got a lot of fur, and that had changed here.
I love it.
Unfortunately, yeah. So that's on the broadcast. Podcasting. Ooh. I think I would have to say one that jumps out was when I had Jerry Glasgow and he told me his hunting stories. Hunting stories. I'm sure he's told you the hunting stories, going to Mexico and everything. I'm like, wait, what? Did you just say what I thought you? Yeah, I had to listen back to make sure that he said that. That threw me off. This was like years ago. He brought that whole story up, and I think that's a first here on the show. That I don't think there's been too many hunting stories
Well,
that
when you
has been
say
told.
off script and you mentioned Jerry Glasgow, it feels like it fits, right?
Doesn't that fit? Like I'm like,
He
are
does
you?
what he wants, and he
I
does
think
a
I
good
even
job.
told him off, like, are you good with me keeping that on? Yeah, sure, keep it on. All right. That
He's
was
awesome. He does what he wants.
so. Yeah, of
Yeah.
course he had to jump in on that. There's probably been a few others, but yeah, that's probably one that jumps out. I mean, how many hunting stories in Mexico and crossing the border do you hear on a daily basis? You know?
Okay. Here's a question
Sure.
similar to one you would ask me too, I think, from my media seats here.
All right, I like this. Yeah.
What is the hill in softball that you're willing to die on? What is the thing?
Oh wow, there's a
What
lot.
is the thing? Man, I have great questions today. They're really hard.
You've outshined me today. You've got more facts than I had. I mean, you
Yeah, this is
clocked.
how you do. This is how we feel. What you do to us. So I'm turning the tables for all the people in these 1,000 episodes before
You might
me
just take over for me at
that
this
have
rate.
felt this way about these interviews.
So
What's the thing? You know?
you would die on a hill. Like, is there one? Give me an example. Give me one that you would like, or that would be an example of that.
Let's see what mine is. I don't know, something crazy like it's great to have a left-hander in the two-hole. I don't know if that's
Okay,
it, but I'm
all
just
right, no,
saying
that's fair.
like, something like
All right, I'll give you one. I'm dying on the hill. I don't think. I think it's from a pitcher standpoint in softball. We should not put too much pressure on them when it comes to pitch clocks if you're not going to do the same with hitters. Like if you're going to call it on the pitcher, call it on the. Why are we blaming the pitcher for the pitch clock when a hitter steps out of the box? That's all I'm saying. Now, in fairness, they have done that, but like I always feel like, oh, we got to speed up the game. I mean, we're fine. We're doing fine. We're not bringing in, like, settle down. That's one that jumps out here. You got me. Let me
That's a
think.
hill.
That's
That's
a
it.
hill.
That's it. That's
Um,
controversial hill. I'm getting you, making sure you have some controversial stuff here.
Also, can we, like, simplify some rules?
Yeah.
Like, it's never a good sign. Like, we got to go to the rule book. I actually have a rule book in my room. I have to bring it in because something weird's going to happen. We all have to look at our rule. That's not a good thing. Can we simplify some stuff where it's like common sense? But that's one of them. I don't know if that counts. Does that qualify in your
Yeah,
request? Okay, that qualifies.
for
All right.
sure. For
All right.
sure.
Okay.
All right. And then you always got to answer the $1 million question, right? You have to.
I
So
hope so.
what do you know now that you wish you knew then? You asked me this to start off today too, but that's the $1 million question. If you come to my dugout during the season and you address my team, someone from the team will always ask you this question because it's the $1 million question. You got to know the answer to it. So what do you know now?
What do I know now that I didn't know?
Yeah,
Like,
if you didn't know then.
I didn't
About
know
cell phone, about broadcasting, about yourself, about any of it. Give us the insight.
Ooh, there's a few things. I'm trying to think. What did I know? I would say probably how this, one thing I'm proud of is obviously the coverage has exploded. When we started this podcast, going on 10 years now with 1,000 episodes, we were the only podcast on. In fact, it started because I remember I was at the UCF watch party and they didn't host in 2015, but there was no outlet that would question that. I was like, whatever, what are you going to do? Now it's obviously exploded with the coverage here at D1 Softball and elsewhere. There's podcasts everywhere. I wish that's something I didn't envision that it would explode like the way it did. And also the explosion of broadcasting. Like I didn't ever envision doing games on ESPN platforms like I have since 2021. That's been pretty cool to learn that craft through those lenses and how many in the audience numbers, because they're big numbers. You know this. You got that with Lynn Rollins and Yvette. They're a popular crew. Some of the LSU fans are not real thrilled when they're not on here. So I've learned that as well, that there's a big following there with not only the local team, but also the opponents have their fans. So that's kind of been part of learning the craft and learning to shut up, actually, because no, seriously, like, because I used to like talk to, I was a solo broadcast, then all of a sudden I got to do analyst. I don't have to carry this. Francesca knows what she's doing. Just let her talk for a few minutes and I can just lay out and shut up, which most of the audience preferred anyway.
I don't think so.
I think they did, or at least her and Alex anyway. Good resume. The other thing I wish I would have known was the last time I was at LSU, I went to an LSU Alabama football game. I got a tour of every stadium except one, Tiger Park. Which I remember because Tiger Park was open when I was tailgating, which at LSU is like an event for anybody who's never done that. And your park was open. And I'm like, wait, can I check it out? Like, am I allowed? Like, I was wishy-washy. I didn't know you as well. Like, I didn't have your contacts or Nick's contacts. I blame him more for this. But
yeah, you should.
You're busy. And so I remember I kind of walked in. I saw the scoreboard, but then I saw somebody like walking in to the stadium. Like, oh, crap, am I going to get in trouble? So I walked out. A few hours later, I'm down on the field at the football game, and I run into you.
And you're like, done it then. We should have left and gone over there.
It's a regret.
Better idea. Just come on back. Just come on back.
Working on that. Yes.
Hey, while you're on this will be my actual last question while you're on this. But like, give us your favorite spot to eat when you're out and about at these places, because everybody needs to know that. So, hit us with that really quick. Everybody wants that.
Favorite place to eat.
Yeah.
So this is tricky because it depends what city I'm in. Like, I've been in Oklahoma City a lot. So the other thing is I'm more of a ordering guy now because I'm staying in my room, do my notes prep or whatever. Okay. So I gotta.
The people want to know. The people want to know this.
Yeah, so I gotta order. So what? I try to find a place that is not something I can just get here in Florida, where I live in Orlando. It's got to be something unique to that location.
I like that too.
Right? Like the last time I was in Louisiana, I went to the sports bar that's right by camp. It's very popular. You might remember. You can help me out with the name of it. Yes.
For the time.
Walk on. No, it was Walk On. That's exactly the one. So that's my goal. Is I try to hit up a spot, and it's usually something like a Walk On. that is only in that area that I can
All
go.
right.
Like,
So people, if you're ever wanting to do something nice for Elo, he likes to order and he likes local. Just throwing that out there for all the people.
yes,
So
please. And send recommendations. I am not shy to take recommendations.
that's cool. Well, I think the cool thing just about being on the thousand and even just hearing the things that you've said is it's just been our privilege to hear you for these thousand episodes. And yeah, I wrote a little group of coaches I have, and I was like, hey, anybody want to know anything from Elo today? I'm on the
Oh,
thousandth episode. And Tyra Perry said he's the ride or die of college softball. And I think that's so true. Just how you have told our stories for all these years and poured into us. You've changed the game. Like you've made us relevant, you've made us humans, you've drawn people in, you've taken the time to know all of us individually, and you've made the game better. So it's a privilege to not just be on the thousandth episode, but it's a privilege to know you and to see what you've done for all of us in the game. It's been incredible. So a huge thank you for me and the whole coaching community, and a big congrats on episode 1000. Good luck on the next 1000. I think they will all be equally as exciting as the one we're doing today.
well, I appreciate you. You're trying to get me to tear up, and it's almost working. So, no, it's listen. I thank you because you decided to come on when this thing started first, and for some reason you kept coming on. You and Lonnie Alameda, I got to give credit. Lonnie, you and Lonnie have been on a lot, and it was cool to catch up with Lonnie a couple of months ago. And she's been dealing, battling cancer, and she just got inducted to the Florida Sports Hall of Fame. You've been doing your annual cancer walk. Do you have a date for that yet?
April 11th with Arizona.
Oh, whoa. Okay, now that's a good weekend. I'm gonna mark that down. But you've been obviously so generous, like with your time over the years, and I've enjoyed your friendship. And man, you're one of my favorite people. So I appreciate this. Meant a lot that you did this, and thank you so much for coming on. And I know I've kept you on long, but like I said, I'm gonna stop talking, because otherwise I'm gonna tear up. But thank you for your kind words, Beth Torina, LSU head coach, all quarter century GOAT, joining us here on In the Circle D1 Sup on the 1000th episode milestone. Thank you for everything you do for the sport yourself, and for this show.
Well, it's about thanking you today. So thanking you today and what you do. Congrats. Here's to the next 1000, my friend.